Welcome to Encouragement for the Week with Jan. Here's a question I'd like you to think about and be honest with yourself when you answer it. Are you a selfish person or a selfless person? Think about that while I'm sharing my encouragement for this week. Believers in Christ at Philippi were admonished not to be selfish. In Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, they were told, "Let each of you look out not only for his own interests, but also for the interests of others." This command didn't just apply to Christians in Apostle Paul's era. It applies to believers today too. Of course, we must take care of ourselves, but we are to look out for the interests of our brothers and sisters as well. I came across a story of an elderly man who complained to his pastor that he had been a member of his church for 30 years. But when he was ill, only one or two persons came by to see him, and he was feeling, as he said, shamefully neglected. When the pastor asked him how many people he'd visited in all those 30 years, his response was that it never struck him in that light. He said that he had only thought of the relation of others to him and not his relation to them. How selfish! I wonder how many other people are like that man. Complain if none of their fellow parishioners visit or call if they've been missing from church. They get all bent out of shape and continually grumble and complain about the people who are not checking for them. They have a big old pity party. I would dare say that some persons may have felt so offended and neglected that they even left the church. My. I wonder if they ever checked on anybody else, and do they even have a right to feel that they are entitled to visitations? Jesus, in his Sermon on the Mount, commanded, "Do to others whatever you would like them to do to you," and that's found in Matthew 7 and 12. This is what is referred to as the golden rule. Most of us learned this as children, but it seems like a whole lot of folks have just been hearers and not doers of the word. In James 1 and 22, we are commanded to be doers of the word and not hearers only. Jesus also said, "If you love me, keep my commandments." That's John 14 and 15. And the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. And that's found in Matthew 22, 37 to 39. Loving God in the way we are commanded to, deeply and with passion, will cause us to want to obey his commands and to love others. Looking out for the interest of others and treating them just like we want to be treated is a way of showing that selfless love. We all have a duty to check on each other. It's a two-way thing. If you notice that someone has been missing in action, don't just say, "I wonder if so-and-so is okay," or comment that you haven't seen them in a while. I'm guilty of that sometimes. Make it a point to get in touch with them and don't just use the excuse of not having their contact information. You can go the extra mile and you will be able to find it if you really want to and if you really try. A simple telephone call to say hi, "I missed you," or provide an encouraging word and a prayer could mean the world to a brother or a sister, especially if they're not well, lonely, or feeling discouraged. Even if they're doing well, they would appreciate it. If persons have needs, you may not have the material resources to help, but you may be able to guide them to where they can get the help they need and pray with them. Just knowing that you care is encouraging. I recently made a conscious decision to call, send voice notes or WhatsApp messages whenever a person comes to mind or I haven't seen them in a while. It's a work in progress though. Let's all make it a point to be obedient and do everything we can to look out not only for our own interests, but also for the interests of others. We will find joy and will be blessed by being a blessing. If this message was a source of encouragement to you, please share it. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel where you will find this and previous messages of encouragement. Thank you and God bless you.